add to it. And the importance of having a very low stress life is crucial, especially as a trader, because it is stressful. You are going to have a stress filled life as a trader unless you do two things. Number one, know exactly what you're doing, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, why you're going to do it. And you're comfortable with doing it wrong once in a while, and you have the discipline to say, I didn't do something right. I'm not going to allow my flesh to push me into something I'm not required to do at the time, which is get the money back right now. Take the loss and give yourself permission to be imperfect. Not, I'm going to be a good loser today. No, you're not a loser. You're imperfect. You can flourish being imperfect. You can make millions of dollars being imperfect. Okay. But when you dial in on the words like, I'm gonna call myself a good loser. No, I don't let those kinds of thoughts in my head. I don't let that happen. You shouldn't either. All you're doing is making a small little deviation from calling something that subconsciously will trigger fear, anxiety, guarding. You'll be more concerned about the outcome of everything because you now increase the level of importance because the last time you took a trade, you were a loser. That was a loss. They're going to come. You're going to have losing trades. I'm not trying to say that it's not reality. It is reality. But it's important for you to hold a mindset and a perception around these things that are inevitable and constantly remind yourself that that is part of this whole lifestyle that you're trying to be a part of. You're trying to adopt the most stressful, the most performance oriented career. You're trying to be an entrepreneur in the hardest thing in the world, undercapitalized against the hardest opponents in the world in a game that's rigged. So think about that because that's the real textbook response to what is trading like and what's it like for someone that gets involved. That's it. Now, the first time someone sit down with you and he said, "What are you looking at?" "I'm looking at these charts." "For what?" And they gave you that definition of what it is. Do you want to subscribe to that? Heck no. And you're gonna be questioning yourself even more why they're even worrying about doing it. So what is it? It's the money, right? No, it's not the money. It's the significance that you get doing it well, and the money is the bonus. That's the evidence to the people that doubt you. Look at what I got. But that's not why you're doing it. That's not why anybody does it. They want to feel empowered. They want to be able to look at someone eye to eye and say, you aren't better than me. Don't talk down to me. Don't tell me to report to work anymore because I'm not coming. That's what they want. They want power. And you can acquire that in this craft. But this craft requires a lot of work and effort. And you got to work hard on yourself first. The easy parts is the trading. And the reason why it feels so hard and complicated, the reason why you're struggling, the reason why you can't get it, here's the secret, and I'm going to close it. You haven't worked through your own problems yet. You're so busy putting out fires or hiding them from yourself and everyone else around you that you can't think straight. You can't think straight. All these things I talk about, you're looking for an easy distraction from the things that you're putting yourself through. I hope he would teach a new model. I hope he would. Why? You already have everything. You aren't doing well with what you've already been given. Why do you want more? Why? Because you want distraction from your inability to identify your personal faults, weaknesses, and shortcomings. And everybody has them. There's no shortage of people in the world with the same types of problems that you have. You're imperfect. You're perfectly imperfect. but you're wrestling through this world trying to hold on to things that you need to just simply let go and put down. Things something probably hurt you years ago, staying in a relationship that's toxic, trying to live up to the expectations of people that don't matter. Think about it. You're trying to impress people that don't care. You're trying to prove that you have things that these people that you don't even like can't afford. Where's the motivation there? What's the point? Who cares if you made $1 million? Who cares if you went out there and bought a whole army of cars and drove them down the block and parked it right in front of their house and said, see this? Once they see it, that's it. It's over. It's done. Your life has to mean more than simple things like that. They're shallow. So you have to purge your body, purge your thought process of all these toxic thinkings and identify the things that's holding you back. I want you to really be honest with yourself. What is it that's messing you up? That makes you impulsive, that makes you want to push a trade on when there's no real reason to do so? What's the real thing? It's not that you want to make the money or get to the payout. You want that for some other external reason. What is that? Because that's the root thing that makes you tick. That's the why. And that why needs to be wholesome. That why you're doing it needs to make sense. It can't be emotionally anchored. It has to be principally oriented. What does that mean? It's got to matter more than just superficially. It's got to matter more than right now. This is the stimuli I would get if I could show the world that I made this much money. That's irrelevant. Nobody cares how much I have. Nobody cares what anybody else has. Once the numbers revealed, wow, on to the next one. Who else is going to show what they made today? Who else is going to show what they took a loss on? Who else is going to feel like they did it wrong? That's what social media is cultivating in all of us. Constant stimuli. Something inside of you that's toxic, you're trying to get stimuli from that. That's what it is. That's what's holding you back. And the things that's holding you back are going to be ugly. They're the things that you don't want nobody to know about you. It would embarrass you. It would shame you. It makes you sick when you think about it because you know exactly what I'm talking about with you. Maybe it's something you did, should have done, but didn't do. Whatever it is, you got to put it down. Forgive yourself. Say, okay, I wasn't I wasn't in a good place at that time when I did those things. I got people I call friends right now, and I'm trying to impress them and rushing through this process, and they're probably not really my friend. Let's test that theory. Cut them off for a little while. Isolate yourself. Build yourself up. If they're still your friends, they're going to be thankful that you came back and hanging around with them, and they're going to be excited that you've done well for yourself. You ever think about it that way? Chances are you probably didn't, because I didn't think that way. I wish I would have had somebody that I cared enough to listen to, like you're doing right now. I wish I would have had someone talk to me like this, because I needed it. I needed a counselor of some kind. Like I needed someone to give me direction, to remind me that I wasn't losing my mind. I needed it, and I didn't have it. I would have paid for this if it was made available to me. And because I believe it matters, I believe it's the truth, I believe it's helpful, I believe it's going to impact you positively if you really do the work of this breaking down yourself. Tear yourself down internally and think, why do I do what I do? And tell that answer to yourself in the journal. And I promise you, you're probably going to weep. You're going to feel disgusted writing it out, and you're going to be afraid that someone might find this. Doesn't matter. Pour yourself out in that journal. It's good medicine. It's the best thing that you could do for yourself because you're going to find something inside of you that's the real root problem. And you keep picking at it like a scab. You won't let it heal. It's festering like an infection. And it's constantly making you impulsive. It's constantly making you self-doubt. It's constantly standing in the way of where you're trying to get to. And you have to conquer it. You have to cut it out like cancer because it's plaguing your development and it's going to undermine your success. It's definitely going to defer your success. So you have to cut it out. But you've got to know what it is so you can identify it and then say, okay, it's a problem relationship. It's substance abuse. It's self-loathing, feeling like I don't deserve it. Who said that you don't deserve this? Who's told you that you don't deserve this? All of you deserve this. You all deserve a good, healthy, well-lived life that puts you in a position where you can bless other people who even God couldn't even come down here and tell you that you don't deserve that. So why do you feel that way? Something's broken, and all you have to do is identify it and give yourself permission to heal and time to do so. And then take all of your attention away from that toxic thinking and pour it into self-improvement by doing these exercises. If all your focus is genuinely in doing this and not looking for the reward monetarily, not the immediate gratification that, oh, I'm learning how to do this, I'm going to make money real fast. I know if I do it his way, I'll probably be a better trader. But if I can start making money, I got time. I'll just be slower at getting better at it. But at least I'm making money. Wrong. Wrong. You're lying to yourself. I'm telling you, if you're thinking that way, you are lying to yourself and you're setting yourself up for failure. You're going to cause yourself to feel like you got to do more that's necessary, often, more often than it's necessary. None of you probably can consider the idea of just taking one setup per week and being content with that and living there for a couple months. No way I could do that. Come on, ICT. You're being unreasonable now. No, I'm not. Because someone that has conquered themselves with no baggage could prove to themselves that they have discipline, that they have forged a measure of self-control, that they could do that and show no impulsiveness, no impatience, no need to do more. Because they know after 2 months, they can resume doing whatever they wanted to do. And it was nothing but proving discipline, forging self-control, purging the impulses of the flesh, you wanting to do because you got time to do it. And in measuring the level of stress that you have endured versus what you're trying to put yourself through all the time. I promise you, you're trying to do more than what's necessary. And that is causing stress. And stress releases cortisol. And cortisol causes your body symptoms. You start feeling tingly. You get anxious, your breathing, your breath elevates in frequency. And a faster breath causes a faster heart rate. And a faster heart rate causes more stress hormones. And left like that, nobody can think clearly like that. No one can. So why are you trying to risk a lot of money doing it? Because no one sat down with you and told you that it's wrong. No one's cared enough to tell you that there's a better way of doing it. There's a way that you can do this stuff and not be stressed out. There's a way to do this and be consistently profitable and not worry about the outcome. Because the process is the model being applied with a sane, sober approach with no stress. Stress-free trading. You're not trying to win Robin's Cups. You're not trying to be on leaderboards. You're not trying to beat the last guy's payout. You're not trying to be the #1 person followed on the internet. You're simply trying to make more than you have right now with no stress. And measure how you feel about that. What are you contemplating? What are you worrying about? What is the positive things that you're feeling right now? What are you hopeful for? All these things are KPIs. They're key performance indicators. And you put that stuff in written format in a journal that you alone read. And you refer back to it. And then you give yourself a little bit more of a threshold to reach for. That means if you're trying to make $250 in the beginning per week, now reach for $300 or $350 more a week. And you gradually, slowly increase that. Not, well, I went to the gym, I'm gonna get what's my heaviest lift I can do in weight? All right, now I'm gonna do 80% of that and start working out. Man, you're tearing yourself up. You're causing growth to be deferred and you're hurting yourself. That's not how you work out properly. Now I know some of you juice heads are gonna come at me and say, bro, you don't even work out. And you're gonna come at me and do all this and do that. You don't want me breaking out pictures of me when I was 19. Okay, I'll put you all on welfare, okay, straight up. So the bottom line is this. In closing, I want you to live a well-lived life. I want you to be healthy. I want you to feel confident about what you're doing, but not overconfidence, not arrogance, not conceitedness, not narcissism. I want you to not worry about the opinions of others, least of which mine. If you're asking me to critique your work, you're already making mistakes. I'm not in the business of doing that. I don't have the time to do it too. And you should not be doing that. You're looking for needless things. The whole point of you being here is to learn how to not be tethered to anyone. And I'm the first person on that list not to be tethered to. You want to be an independent thinker without any stress, living a very long and healthy life. And you want to be able to move through these marketplaces without any degree of stress. And this is the process you go through. You start with you. And so many people, and you know who they are. They're the people that come at us, me specifically, and they're toxic. You know, beyond a shadow of doubt, they're not comfortable in their own skin. I'm not going around looking at everybody that says anything positive about themselves, saying you're a wreck. And I have reasons I can do it. I can look down on everybody else out there. I could, but that's not what I do. I don't want to do those things. I look down on everybody else's trading method because it's inferior to mine. And that sounds narcissistic. That sounds arrogant and egotistical, but it's facts. I would never leave what I'm using to go and do anything else. And when you get good at using it and knowing what it is it's capable of doing in your own hands, you will never feel that way either. It would be nonsense. It would be ludicrous to do that. No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what the market's going to do tomorrow. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Okay. So I wanted you to just be reminded before we go into our holiday break that the time that you spend away from me bloviating into these types of things or on my videos, I want you to think about how you can build up yourself. Take the time, and it'll be close to about 90 days before I resume in February, Lord willing. I think that if you were to be honest with yourself and look at what you do constantly to yourself, you probably make it a whole lot harder on you than it's necessary. You don't have to make it an Olympic feat, but that's what social media turns it into. You get caught in these traps. You got to win the competitions. You got to get on the leaderboard. Who said that? Are you able to make money and not have to go to work? Because that's really winning. If anybody hasn't said it lately, let me be the guy to talk about it. When you don't have to work anymore, that's winning. That is winning. I don't care what anybody says about that. That's winning. And when you get to that part of your life where you're able to do that, and you can do it from your own hands and the effort that you put forward in your trading, you're not going to care if anybody agrees with you or not. You won't care what anybody else thinks. You're not going to go around looking for arguments either. But when someone steps to you and says, "Oh, you can't do this," do you really care what people think? You're not going to. And you live a stress free life. You laugh at them, you smile, and you wave because they're not of any importance to you. They came there to try to distract and derail you. And who cares? If you know you're living your life, you're living in your world. That's the reality of what you're doing. These perceived ideas of what you're never going to be able to achieve, those are opinions of people that are failures. They have failed already. And they want to allow the enemy to enter their mouth and tell you you're going to fail. And that's a lie because the devil is a liar. So I hope this holiday season you have a blessed one, that you're healthy, and you come back next year. And Lord willing, if I'm able to do so, I'll have a whole new batch of whatever it is I'm going to be sharing with y'all. But I want you to have a very relaxed